Welcome everyone to the Zeppelin Classic. A lot of ways to play this. I'm going to cover a couple things he does that, and a couple ways you can play it. I've researched what he does live, whether Black Crowes and Jimmy Page or Nebworth or even Celebration Day. The last Zeppelin concert, there's actually a bootleg of this out there it's pretty distant, but you can get an idea better than the DVD that kind of hides what he's playing. So with that said, we'll get into the lesson. I want to thank John H. He really enjoyed the Sick Again lesson I did, and he goes, now if we could learn Nobody's Fault But Mine solo. So John, this is for you, buddy. Okay, the one thing we'll talk about this song, I mean, it's really basically an E minor blues song. And Page just turns it upside down. So that's one of the really cool things. At the beginning, you need a flanger if you want to go for that sound. You don't have to have it. I mean, from what I've read, he's multi-tracked a ton of guitars in the intro. That's why I did the intro a couple different ways, and we'll talk about that. Now, I've written this out. My notes will be available below. I didn't go into every little lick that I'm going to show you. I gave you what I really think he's doing based on watching him live and so forth. So to start out with, I'm going to keep the delay and flanger off and just show you what we're doing here. Okay, to start this off, I'm not going to use a flanger or a delay, but that's what he uses in this intro. And again, this guitar is multi-track. So I'll talk about some little variations like I did in the intro, like bending a note versus sliding up. So to start out with, as I've written out, and my notes are below the video, just click on the link. What we're going to do on the second string, we'll hit the 3rd fret, pull off to open, and then hit open again. We'll do that twice. Then we're going to hit 3, and then 3 slide to 5. Alright, so we have this so far. Alright, a variation is instead of hitting 3 and sliding to 5 after the second 3, we can just bend up to what would be the 5th fret or E note. Now I want to talk about bending these notes. You don't want to add vibrato to it. Okay, this is a lick where there's no vibrato to it. So if you do bend the note, even at the 12th fret, keep in mind you don't want to add vibrato to it because it throws it off. So it's your option of which way you want to play that. Again, this is multi-track, so I'm sure he has a bunch of guitars doing a bunch of different things. It's whatever way you feel comfortable. All right, so that's the very first part of the lick. Second part will sound like this. All right, so what we're going to do is our 3rd fret pulled off to open and then open again. We'll do that twice, except we're going to move to the 3rd string, open. So you want to stop that 2nd string from ringing after you hit it again. And then you're going to hit the 2nd fret, slide to 4 as you hit it. Alright, now we'll move back to that 2nd string. 3 pulled off to open, and then open, and 3 slide to 5, just like we started out the second half of that lick. But we're going to come back to 3 and open. And then we're going to go right to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and open. So we have this. Alright, now we're going to pull off from the 2nd fret to the 1st fret. So a little bit different. We're going to add this 1st fret in the mix on that 3rd string. Pull off and hit it. Again. Hit the 2nd fret. Then we'll hit the 2nd fret again with a bend, release, and a pull off to 1. And then the full E chord. Right there. so again, if you're doing this with the bent notes, let me play that for you slowly, where I'm going to bend the notes. Okay, again, it's your option. You can do like I did, one of each in the intro and play through it. Next part, I'm going to call this guitar 2, although again, there's multiple guitars. We're going to move up to the 12th fret and I'll show you what he's doing there. Alright, just like I've written out, it's really the same as we did in the first position. We're just going to be barring or using our first finger at the 12th fret rather than an open string. So slowly I'll just go through it. So you can see at this position we're not necessarily sliding. This is where we're going to use the bend. Okay? One more time through slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So one thing I want to talk about is that ending where I'm pulling up or bending the 3rd string at the 14th fret to releasing the 13th. Then I hit the 14th fret of the 4th string. I'm letting that hit the 5th string and mute it just because it doesn't get that muddy, and I'm letting the E string ring. It just fills out that chord if you're one guitar. Just a hint, I don't really think he does that in the song because again it's multi-track. But there's an option for you. Got it written out with that open 6 string optional. And let's get into the lick post this intro. Alright, here's the lick I'm talking about. I'm going to play it how Paige plays it live. Here's another way I've seen it played. And one other way. Alright, so again, this is really a basic blues lick. And the reason I think the first way is correct, and I've written this out, taking 7, sliding to 5 on that 5th string, is because I hear a slide the first time and it sounds like a pull off the second time if you listen closely with headphones. So the slide would be 7 to 5, and then we're going to hit 5 again. Then what we're going to do is hit the 2nd fret of the 5th and pull off to open and hit open again. Then we come up to the 3rd fret of the 6th string with a pull down to an E power chord. Okay, all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat that. Instead of an E power chord, we're going to go to A. Alright, if you want to do it different, I didn't write this out, but it's basically playing the same notes. We're going from this E to D, and if you use your first finger, that allows you with your middle finger to slide from the B to A. And then your G to E power chord. Okay, and the last way is just playing on the 4th, 5th to the 6th string. That's more of the blues style way of doing it, if you will. Same notes, but again, I'm pretty sure he slides the first part of the lick. Alright, we'll talk about that because that lick is central throughout the song, but in the intro, the way he slides it is another thing too that'll come into a factor. So, alright, we got the lick, let's go to the verse next. Okay, next we're into the verse rhythm. So we got the lick, now we're into this. Alright, so the key to this, I see a lot of people do this. Just sliding up, but they're missing a point. The sliding isn't there. It's a open 6 string. So what we're going to do is hit that D chord and pull off on the 5th string to open. We'll do that twice. Then we want to kind of mute that string, hit the 6th string open, which allows us to get in position for the E fret. So we're at 7 and 9. And then there's a chuck, and again the chord. Alright, so we have this. Alright, that's the first half of it. The second half, we're going to do those pull-offs from the D chord to the open A. Then what we do is take that 5th string, slide all the way up to 11 from 7. And then we're going to be in position to play the bottom half of this E chord. And we're going to add some embellishments to it. Alright, so we'll slide up. We'll hit it twice. And then we're going to use our middle finger on the 4th string at 11. Back to 9. Alright, so we have this. And then we're going to hit it again and hammer on the 10th fret on the 2nd string and that 11th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so we'll have this. Let's take it from the whole thing. Alright, one more time. That's where he stops when he hammers on there. Alright, so there is the rhythm. Again, I've written this out. This is the verse rhythm. That's consistent throughout. There is one time where he'll just stop. And again, listen to the song. You'll be able to follow along. And then we're into what I'm going to call the bridge part. Alright, so for the bridge, we're basically playing an E, F sharp power chord, G to an A. Alright, so you'll hear that bridge throughout the song. And then you're back into it. Alright, and anyhow, so you got the idea. Now we're into the harmonica solo, which is the verse rhythm. Alright, we're just going to keep doing that throughout the harmonica solo. Alright, the last 2 measures of the harmonica solo change up, and you'll hear this. Alright, it's kind of faint in the mix, but if you watch Page play this live, it even becomes the end of his solo, because he doesn't play the studio solo note for note. But what we're doing is we're going to be at the 12th fret on the 2nd string and 13th fret of the 3rd string. We're going to hit that twice, move that down to 10 and 11, and then hit 9. That's all on the 2nd and 3rd string. Then we're going to add our middle finger on the 4th string, still barring at 9. Alright, so we have... Then we just hit that bottom half of an E chord. Alright, so there you have the end of the harmonica solo, which is really, I enjoy that lick, it's cool. Now we'll touch on the solo, and then we got the outro, and you'll have the whole song. Alright, so we're to the solo now. What I find hard about the solo, it's not necessarily melodic. A lot of licks, and there are some little melodies that he does in there, but it's really different. So that was the problem I had with learning this, is just, you know, getting it in my head with what he's doing and playing it. So let's start out with the first section of the lick that I'll show you. It'll go like this. Okay, so to start the lick out, what we're going to do in the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, 2 bends, and then catch the 2nd string at the 3rd fret unbend. And you almost stop that 3rd string. It's not a country bend. Then you're going to come back to that 2nd fret of the 3rd string with, this is a timing thing, it's 3 bends and then a pull off. Alright, so we have, and then we hit the 4th string at 2. So we're pulling off after that 3rd bend. Then we hit the open 3rd string. Alright, that's all timing. If you do that correctly, you'll be in time with the song. Then what he does is hit that 3rd string again, and he's going to do a bend just above the nut. 2 bends. Alright, so far we have this. Then we end up on that 4th string at the 2nd fret. Alright, then we're going to slide into this lick. Alright, so what we're doing is sliding from the 2nd fret to the 4th on the 3rd string. Use your middle finger, because then you can use your 1st finger to catch the 3rd fret of the 2nd and 1st string. Back to 5 on the 2nd string. 1st string, 3rd fret. Then we're going to bend up as we strike it. Excuse me. We're going to bend up as we strike it the 5th fret. And then what we're going to do is hit a pull off from 5 to 3. So we have this so far. Then we're going to hit 5 to 3 on that 1st string again. Then there's a slight pause. Again, this is all about timing. And then back to 3 on the 1st string. Alright, now we're into the next section of the lick. Okay, let's do this next section and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so what we're doing is sliding from 7 to 11 on the 5th string. we're going to come to the 4th string, hammer on 9 to 11, hit 9 on the 3rd string. As we hit the 11th fret of the 3rd string, what we're going to do is bend it and release it 3 times. Alright, so we have this so far. Actually, the 3rd time we're going to bend, release, and pull off to 9. Alright, and then we go back to 11 to 9 on the 3rd string, to 11 on the 4th, 9 on the 3rd, 11 on the 4th. Alright, all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so there's a little melody to that, or again, if you're playing with the timing, you'll be able to get the feel for it. I'll put a link to Riff Station below. Download this free software and you can slow this down and play along with it and work it up like I did. Alright, at that point we're into this next little section of the lick, and I'll show you this at speed. Alright, so what we're doing, 12 to 9 on the 1st string, to 12 on the 2nd, back to 9 on the 1st. 12 to 9 on the 2nd. And then we're going to take the 3rd fret, or sorry, 3rd string, 11th fret, bend, catch 12. Alright, on the 2nd string. Then what we do is on the 1st string, 9 to 12 on the 2nd string twice. And there's a slight pause there. Again, we're kind of working a melody here. Next part, we'll take the 9th fret of the 2nd string to 11 on the 3rd, hit 11 again with a bend, and then 11 not bent, back to 9 on the 3rd. So let me go from the 9, 12 twice. Then to 11 on the 4th. Now this time we're going to hit the 3rd string at 9 twice. To 11 on the 4th, 9, back to 11. Okay, so that's a lot to digest. Let me take it really slowly from the very beginning of that second half. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so this next little section I'm talking about will sound like this. Okay, so what we're doing on the 2nd string, and I want you to use your middle finger, okay? We're going to be at the 12th fret, bend it, release, and bend again. Then we're going to hit it unbent. Alright, so we have this. They do that in both halves of the lick, so get that down. First section, what we're going to do is hit the 11th fret and bend that up on the 2nd string. And then we just stop the bend. Then catch 10. So we're going, but we're bending. Okay, so we have this. Then we come to the 3rd string at 12. Alright, and what we're going to do is a slight bend there to 10 on the 2nd string. It's real bluesy. Then we walk down 12, 11, 9 twice on the third string. And that 9 is a slight pause, and then we hit 11 on 4. All right? So, follow along with my notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, second half of it, we're going to start out the same. Now what we move to is the second string at 9 to 11. Again, you're using your first finger, so you're right there at 11 with the middle finger. Back to 9 on the second string, and then 9 on the third string. Da 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 da. Alright, so we have this. Alright, at that point, he's going to start this little chicken picking lick. It will sound like this. What he's doing there, because we've ended on that 9th fret with our first finger, we can use our middle finger, bend that second string at 11, and then as we're releasing it, hit the note dead. So we're bending it, and then stopping and clicking as we get back into position. There's a total of 6 of those. The first one you don't click. It's not like you go. You're going to hit it and then start the clicking. Alright, so it'll sound like this. Alright, at that point we're going to kind of take off here. Alright, so the next part of the lead will sound like this. Alright, at that point, I've been in my middle pickup position this whole time. We're going to switch when we get to 15 to the bridge pickup. Again, watching Paige play this live, it's where I see him kind of switch his pickups and go to this more trembly sound. And you'll hear why as we go through the lick. Alright, so here's the takeoff. 9 on the third to 11 on the fourth twice. Back to 9 on the third. Then we'll take 11 on the third, slide that up to 13. So for that takeoff, what I like to do is I'm just going to use my middle finger on the 10th fret. You won't notice the difference. Because that puts me in position. Okay, it's up to you. The real note is 11, but I take off from 10. Alright, so when we get up to 13 on that third string, we're going to go to 12 on the second to first string. Alright, so we have this. And then we're going to catch 15 with a bend. At that point, he switches his pickup down to the bridge position, and I've noted that in my notes. Alright, so we have this. The reason is the rest of the solo is a little bit more hairy or trembly, so that really helps with the tone of this. And the next part of this lick is very specific, so we'll go over that next. Alright, so let me go from the takeoff. Okay, switch down. Now what we're going to do, this is the specific part I want to talk about. As we're bent up, we're going to hit 15, but that note we stop, if you will. Because we're going to hit that note again and bend it up. So that's on the second string. So let's... Do you see how that works out? We're bent, but when we hit the first string at 15, back to the second at 15, we bend it up. Alright, so... do that twice. So we're hitting 15 on the first string, 15 on the second, bent. The third time, we're not going to bend. We're going to bend the third string at 14 and a release. So we have, let me take it again from that takeoff. Alright, see how that works out? It's real specific to this lick. Your ear definitely picks up on that not bent second string, but the bent third. Okay, the second time through, as we do this bend, we're not going to go to that 14. We'll do this. Alright, I'm going to stop there. So we're doing that bend twice. Then where we go is the 12th fret of the second string. And then again, this is real bluesy. We're going to take the third string with a bend and release and pull off to a 12, back to 14. Then we're going to go to 12 with the hammer on to 13, catching 14 on the fourth string. Alright, so we have this. So let me take that whole lick again from the second half. Alright, from there we move on. What we're going to do is slide from 12 to 13 and catch the first string at 12 to the second string at 15. Now, this is real blurred in the actual song, but I'm pretty sure he's playing 12 twice on the second string the second time through. It's almost like a dead note before he hits the note. Okay, so let's take it from this takeoff at the 15th fret. Alright, so we do that twice. Alright, and then what we're going to do, he's going to hold that a little bit. Again, I'll take it from the second half. So then we take the third string at the 14th fret, bend twice, release to 12, and end up on 14 on that fourth string. Wow, a lot of notes. My back's killing me. I'm having a blast. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's a lot of notes, but if you follow along with my tab, I think this will really help you. And play with riff stations, slow it down, load the song up. Alright, we're almost to the end. We're going to do a pretty quick lick here next and a takeoff again. And then we'll do the outro and you'll have the whole song. Alright, I'm going to take off from that last section at a medium tempo so you can see how all this fits together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the last section of the solo will sound like this. Alright, so for the very last section, what we're doing is we're moving back to that 9th position. We're going to hit the 3rd string twice. Back to 11 on the 4th, 9 on the 3rd. Then we're going to take off from 11, bend up, kind of a Chuck Berry, catching 9 on the second and first string. Then we're going to go to the second string with 2 pull-offs from 12 to 9. Catching 11 on the third string, back to 9 on the second. So we have this. Then we come back to 11 on the third string, 2 pull-offs to 9. Back to 11 on 4, 9, and 11. Then we go to 9. We're going to take off again. Back to, let's see, 12th fret on the second string. Then we catch 14 on the first string. So we're not doing the Chuck Berry. We're going. And what we're doing when we hit that 14 is bending it up. So we have this. Then hit it unbent to 12. And then 12 again on that first string to 14 on the second string. Alright, so let's go from that takeoff. Let's see, we'll go. Alright, and then the next little part of that lick, we're going to stay at this 12th position. Okay, what we're going to do is hit 13 to 12 and 12 on the second and first string. 14 bent up, then 14 unbent to 12. To 14 on the second string, back to 12 on 1. Alright, so we have this. The last lick we're going to do is we're going to be hitting 13 to 12 on the 13 on the third string, back to 12 on the second and first again, hitting 14 bent. And then we'll hit 14 again, bend and release. Let's see. And then we hit 12 to 14 from the first to second string, back to 12. Alright, so we have this. Alright, last part of that, after we end on 12, what we're going to do is hit 12 again, slide to 9. Then hit 12 to 9 on the second string. So this is almost the end of the song. The last lick of the song, after we're going to skip to the 4th string and do this. So it's like an ending lick where he doesn't play anything on the 3rd string because you're expecting him to go there. Alright, so after we slide, we're going to go to the 4th string at the 11th fret, and we'll catch that on the 4th string to the 3rd string, back to the 4th string. Then 9 on the 3rd string to 11. And then 9 to 11 on the 3rd string, back to 9 twice. Alright, so there is the whole lead. Again, I've written this out. You'll be able to follow along with it. We're going to cover the ending. It's really the lick that we did in the intro, just with a couple extra notes, and the bass following along, and the rhythm, and you will have the song. Alright, so the final section of the song, we're going to do our D pull-off like this. We're going to stop on that E, and then we'll hear this. So what we're doing, and I'm pretty sure, use your first finger, just slide from 7 to 5, hit 5 again, and then slide to 2. Hit 2 again, and then 2 to pull off. of the 6th string, then bend and release, and then 3 opens. Alright, so we have this very slowly. And I think you'll have the whole song. So it takes a little bit of work. My notes, again, the link are below if you can follow along with the video. I really hope it helps everybody. Enjoy.